Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric and Vlogmas 2022. As you can see here, and I'm sure from the photo that I'm putting here, it is December 11th. Today we're going to get the drop cloth in my lap before I pull out any fiber so that it doesn't steal away or hide any renegade balls of fluff. I can't believe at the end of the day, after the end of the vlog yesterday, when I was cleaning everything up, I found a little ball of fluff and it explained why I finished spinning so much earlier. But it is a beautiful color. I went ahead and spun it up and we're ready to go again today. So let's go ahead and grab some fiber and see what we have. I pulled these the drawstrings on the bags a little tight. They're not always the easiest to open. Oh my goodness, I can already tell we have a change. We have a chocolate. We have a chocolate, but I'm excited more for this. This is sun yellow, not an exhaust, but the actual color, the sun yellow. And I know that there's a lot of foggy, cold weather out there, so the sun yellow is greatly appreciated. And get the wheel going in the right direction and draft this together. So you may notice right here next to me, there is a little crab that's decorated up for the holidays. It is a holiday grab bag, and I will show a larger picture so that you can see it. But it is what I wanted to talk about today as I spin. So every year, as we enter into the beginning, usually the early part of December, we start finding ourselves, or I should say, many of us find ourselves at the last minute searching for a small, inexpensive gift to give to coworkers and friends, or that person who happens to stop by at the last minute. When I was a young girl and into my young adulthood, while my grandmother was still alive, I would love to go and rummage around in her storage area in her basement. I've put my little debris bowl here. I'm going to set it here out of the way. It keeps wanting to fall on the floor, so maybe it's safer in there. And when I was in college and I had the opportunity to go home for Christmas, one of the things I would do is I would go to my grandmother's house and I would organize her storage. It was a room dedicated for food storage, for nice things that she didn't want out in the garage. Let's put it like that. And one of the things that, as a woman who had lived through the Depression and lived through the World War II, she was greatly impacted by the need to be frugal. It was something that her mother was just, actually it was part of her mother's nature to be frugal in times of need or in times of abundance. But my grandmother, one of the things that she did is when things were on sale, things that could be used as gifts throughout the year, she would purchase them during the sale time. Almost all of our Christmas presents when we were growing up were purchased around the back to school time. She was frugal, she was practical. We would get crayons and coloring books and fun things like that that were oftentimes marked at a discounted price in seasons other than Christmas. And so this was something that she did, and she would do the same thing. She would pick up items that might be good for weddings or the birth of a baby, and she would, stash those on the shelf, and she'd have them in case of a need. Well, that was something that influenced my young adulthood years. And as time went by, I began to understand the greater importance of that. But one of the things also, when I was at college age, that I was introduced to was a thing called the white elephant gift. And a game called the gift, I think it was like something, the gift swap. So the gist of it was everyone in the office would bring a white elephant gift to the office on a certain day for the office party. It'd be wrapped and there would be no names attached. And the white elephant gift, by its mere name, was supposed to be something under a certain amount of money, and often was supposed to be a bit of a funny gift or even a gag gift. And the first time I saw this done was when I was in college, and there was my college had stables for horses, and I worked out at the stables. I worked there my freshman year, and they did this every year, but they were very specific. It was to be funny. It was meant to be a bit of a gag. And what would happen is that you would pick a gift when it was your turn. You'd pick a number and you'd pick a gift when it was your turn. And you'd go get a gift and you'd unwrap it. And everyone would see what it was you had. Well, then the next person with the next person with the next number in line would pick a gift and they'd unwrap it. And as soon as they unwrapped it, they would look at it and go, oh, well, do I want this? And if they didn't want it, they had the opportunity at that moment to go and swap it with any of the gifts that had been opened previously. And there was usually a swap limit. No gift could be swapped more than 3 times, so the person who took it on the 3rd time would get to keep it. And this was important because for the first time ever, you did not want to be the person with number 1. You wanted to be the person with the last number of the group or a middle number of the group, so you had the option of swapping what you received with what somebody else received. And I'd never seen any of this. I'd never heard of anything like this. I think I'd heard of white elephant, but I'd never seen quite this take. Because one of the gifts was a bent curtain rod. And everyone got really excited when it got unwrapped. Another one of the gifts, I guess, showed up every single year. It got recycled. And it was a large, round potpourri ball that had seen better days. And we were working at the stable with horses. And I swear, it was hard to tell if that potpourri ball was really potpourri or some other sourced item that the horses made. And everyone cheered when that present came out. So, yes, there were occasionally a good gift, like a small box of chocolates. But for the most part, the white elephant gift exchange, in this case, was to have us laughing and enjoying the fun of it. The competition was to either see if you could get the worst gift of the bunch or if you could get the best gift of the bunch. Both were going on. So I saw this type of gift exchange a few more times back during those years when I worked. And my husband, the same thing. And so we always had to come up with, what we found though, is that year after year, there was less office camaraderie than what we had had in those early years. And therefore, the gifts couldn't be as silly as they were then. And over time, and from what I have had reported to me from those close to me, the younger generation doesn't actually understand what the white elephant is. It's been rebranded as just an inexpensive trinket gift at the holidays. Which I can understand, but it's also kind of sad because now you're losing a bit of the humor. And that means that if you do this gift swap, you really are getting to the point where the swap is being done because you really want something better than what you have. And that's leading us into the envy rather than the humor that the game initially had as an integral part of it. I've done this kind of swap with a quilting group where we did the same kind of thing. Everybody had to bring an ugly fabric, what they considered an ugly fabric, and we did the same kind of swap, and then we had a challenge in which we had to make something with somebody else's ugly fabric. And the interesting thing is, what one person considers ugly, someone else considers perfect. So I've done this kind of thing at Christmas parties and parties at different times. But it has saddened me a little that oftentimes the humor of it is getting lost. Now, with that being said, I figure if we're going to have to come up with last minute gifts that we want to be able to share that people might actually enjoy, that rather than dashing around in December desperately looking for something that fits in the budget that has been announced, it would be really nice if we did a little bit of what my grandmother did and through the year, especially after Christmas when everything goes on sale, pick up the trinkets and items that might be good for the upcoming year. So with that in mind, I have created the holiday grab bag with a crab and his little claws. I will tell you, for those that do machine embroidery, and I will put this on my Instagram, the crab is a Designs by Juju crab, and the hat he's wearing comes from her elf alphabet. I merged them together in software, and the lettering is something that I just created myself. It is, instead of using fabric for the applique, I have used heat transfer vinyl. It works great, and it's glitter heat transfer vinyl, so he shines. He's ready for a party. But so this holiday grab bag is going to have items placed in it, a few more items placed in it. Right now, it has a couple handmade cards from my Crafting with Paper Day. It has a handmade ornament with some Hot Fix crystal bling on it. My husband is going to put in it a wooden ornament that he has made. And who knows, there might be some other little trinkets that go into it. But this specific grab bag is not for me in case somebody unexpectedly shows up. It's for my husband, for him to take as his white elephant gift to his holiday party. Because rather than just taking an ornament, which is what he had initially planned to do, or a wooden bowl that he had made, I thought it would be really a great gift to give something that the person can keep all the items themselves, or they can use it for the next holiday party that they have to go to. Because unlike my husband and I, who don't have many Christmas parties that we go to by choice, I've seen a meme that goes around that says, I'm not antisocial, I just don't like people. I don't like going out and about, and it's mainly, for so many reasons, as I have settled into my comfort zone, I realize that I'm happier and more content when I'm not running about. That is not to say that I don't enjoy the Christmas parties, but I do know that it takes away some of the festive cheer when you're constantly worried that the day of the party might be a day you just don't have any spoons left in the cupboard, don't have any more gas left in the tank, and you're running on empty. And those days I can't plan them. I can't plan around them. I just have to address them as they come. And so I do find it's a little easier to do Christmas from afar. And in my situation, it works. That is not to say that my door isn't open, because my door is open. And I do have the equivalent of this grab bag over by my fireplace, sitting on the hearth, waiting. If people come by, I have little trinkets and gifts to give during this holiday season. So I thought this was a good idea, and I thought this was a good idea that I wanted to pass on. This notion that all through the year we look for things that would work quite well in the holiday season, that fits within a budget, that can be used when we have a quick gift need. And for those of us that are parents and grandparents, giving the younger generation something like this for Christmas, an early Christmas present, this could be a really fun way for us to share our crafts and our talents. Because, oh my goodness, for the knitters out there, and crocheters, I guess, can you imagine if you put a pair of Christmas socks in there? That could be very fun. Or better yet, a pair of thick, Christmassy, knitted or crocheted slippers. Again, it leaves it open to the recipient of the grab bag, either keeping the item for themselves or passing the items along to friends and relations during this season, which a lot of young people do have multiple Christmas party, multiple gifting need. So that is what I wanted to share today. A way to pass on, to share, to send out there with love the things that we do all year long, but in a way that makes it so the recipient doesn't feel obligated to keep what we've made. And I think, and I've talked about this, and I think Christmas Vlogmas last year, I think it's really important. And I have a beep. I guess my battery is not happy, but I'm going to just let it be. It might beep again at a moment, but it is just keeping track of this fiber, and I will be good. It's important that when we give gifts from the heart, that they truly are gifts from the heart. When we've made something, we've stitched it, we've knitted it, we crochet, we weave, we do papercraft, whatever we are doing, it is important that we give it from the heart. And that means we give it and let it have wings. And so, by filling a little holiday grab bag for our loved ones, maybe what we're doing is giving them permission that if they feel someone else in their life needs that item or can benefit from that item more than them, that they can pass it along without us feeling any kind of disappointment or remorse or sadness that our gift wasn't cherished. Because isn't that the greatest showing of appreciation? When the thing we give is something that our loved ones feel like someone else needs. And there we have the yellow for today, the spin. I think that is something to remind ourselves, especially as we are now mid-December. The things we give may very well be something that needs to be passed on further afield than just our circle. So, grab yourself a bag, color on it with crayons if you need to. Oh, I really did enjoy doing that last year for Vlogmas. Making a decorative bag out of just a canvas bag. This one, I did a little bit extra, put 2 drawstrings on it. It's got a little tag. I know I'm sure I've shown pictures already, but it's got a little tag explaining what it is. And this is just Christmas paper that's been adhered to a cardboard with, believe it or not, heat and bond, which is what I use with my fabrics. So there you have it. And I'm noticing the time. That was a longer spin, so, and because I'm talking about stuff, let's go ahead and pull out a suggestion. So, and if there's anything that I cover in this, and because I'm doing a terrible job of adding stuff into my video descriptions, if there's anything that you have a question about, whether it's now or months from now, if you watch this, again, feel free to ask me a question. I check all the messages. So, bake a sweet treat. I knew I'd get another one of those coming up. So I guess I will be baking today. I did want to just, as a final note, mention that our little whimsy cat, the one that was highlighted in yesterday's video, she does love the new toy. So does all the other kitties. It's been passed around to everyone. And it was a joy to make. I'm sure I'll be sitting down and crocheting up some more very soon. But it looks like this video is done for, and we will see you tomorrow.